Everybody, what's up? It's JMO, Jeremy Moore to some of you, but preferably JMO to all of you. I wanted to talk to you guys today about a thought that I had a long time ago that I wrote down that I never really shared in detail with anyone, but it's sort of an illustration that I thought of. And it's my take on the current condition of the American church. Now, I understand that it could be applied to some religion in general, but my experience has only been with the Christian church in America, so that's kind of what I would like to apply it to today. Now, what amenity does almost every single church in America seem to offer? You guessed it, that's right. Coffee. The best way to start my Sunday morning. A cup of joe. I really should have put sugar in that. Now, I think that is sort of an illustration of what church in general is like. I think it's a lot like the coffee that they serve. Now, let me explain. Now, if I held this up, and then I held this up, and just did a quick flash, you might not be able to tell the difference. But the first thing that I held up is actually just a bead. From a distance, it could potentially look like, maybe grab a couple since they're smaller, could potentially look like a coffee bean. But this is actually a coffee bean. See, you see the little ridge on it, a little coffee bean, you can tell. And what I learned growing up is that there's a lot of imitations out there that would try and pass for coffee. But if I took this, if I took this and tried to grind it up and make coffee out of it, it would taste awful. I might even get sick and die, because I don't know what chemicals are in this. But if I tried to make coffee out of that, it would not be coffee. It would just be gross, nasty awfulness. But what I learned is that there's a lot of imitations out there that promise fulfillment, or at first glance look like they might provide the same sort of fulfillment that perhaps a cup of coffee would. This represents sex, drugs, alcohol, TV, media, whatever it is that you think might be fulfilling in life that doesn't actually bring real fulfillment. Now this, the real coffee bean, is what we're aiming for. But I think what the church does with religion, with faith, truth, God, whatever, is that they only want to serve you their version of it. And a lot of times it's really watered down. I don't know if you've ever had church coffee. Sometimes it's decent. A lot of people have like awesome cafes where you can actually buy the coffee. But for the most part, the coffee that they serve for free is like, I guess I don't really want to like bash on any name brands, but they buy like the mega giant Sam's Club style can of coffee grounds that by the end are just stale and gross. And they don't even like make it strong. It's really watered down. It's really weak. If you go and try it, it's lukewarm. You have to add like 5 creamers, 5 sugars just to make it taste anything remotely not like lukewarm water. It's just brown water that you have to add a buttload of sugar and other stuff too, so it doesn't taste like crap. But the thing is a lot of churches do that with religion. You go into the service and they take the truth and then they kind of put a certain spin on it and they brew it in a certain way, and then they add whatever flavor they want you to have. They make it French vanilla, they make it hazelnut, and they serve it to you. And it's very specific to what they want you to. One church could take like one passage of scripture and make it say this and say, here, this is French vanilla. And another church could take that entirely same passage and make an entirely different flavor out of it and be like, oh no, this is hazelnut. And it's the same thing, but the problem is that if you just gave people this, if you just took them to the source, said, here's the coffee bean, here's the truth, why don't you just take this and run with it? Like, I think people have a problem with just taking people to the source, which is what we should be doing anyway, I think. I think that we should just be taking people to the source, because you might be surprised. Maybe people don't even want coffee. Maybe people like coffee beans dipped in chocolate and they just like to eat them. And like, you don't have to give them coffee. But the thing is that people get so cornered into believing that it has to be this flavor or it has to be this flavor. But the thing is that this is ultimately what's important anyway. It's not the spin that you put on it. It's just this. It's just the coffee bean. This is what's important, taking people to the truth, to the source. And I think we would be surprised to find out what people decide to do with this. That's actually a lot better than I was anticipating it was going to be. I thought, ooh, chocolate sounds really good right now. I'm going to take these coffee beans, give me a brownie.